Hi guys, I'm Anastasia and welcome to English with LinguaTrip. In today's video, I'll give you 14 alternative expressions that you can use instead of I don't like it. But before we get started, make sure that you subscribe to our channel. We're here every Friday with a fun new lesson to learn. So let's get started.
Everything's in English.
All you need to know.
Alright, how did you learn to speak English?
The first phrase is, I'm not into it. So when you are into something, it means you really like it. And if you don't, then you can say, I'm not into it. For example, he asked me out, but I'm not into him. I can't believe she's not into Games of Thrones. I'm not into Games of Thrones. I haven't watched a single episode. Just don't like dragons, I think.
Yeah, I'm not into it either.
I'm not crazy about it. When you say that you're crazy about something, it means that you really, really like it. I'm absolutely crazy about these shoes. So when you say that you're not crazy about something, it just means that you don't like it very much. I'm not crazy about moving to New York City.
Actually, I'm not crazy about a lot of it.
If you don't quite understand what I'm saying right now and you'd like to boost your listening skills in just 20 days, join our intensive course. After that, you'll start to understand native speakers no matter their accent or the tone of their voice. I'll have the link and a special promo code for you in the description box. The next phrase is, I'm not interested in it. It's just another way of saying the same thing, that you don't really like it. For example, I'm not interested in cooking. That simply means that I don't like it and I don't think I'll do anything to learn how to cook. Not interested in it.
I'm not interested in Marissa, right?
Improve it.
I'm not fond of it. If you're not fond of red wine, it simply means that you don't really like it. The same goes about people. For example, I'm not fond of his friends. Actually, it can be a polite version to say that you really don't like somebody. I'm not fond of his friends.
I'm not particularly fond of Sister Antonia.
I can't stand it. This one is stronger than the previous phrases, so be careful when using it. It almost means that you hate something or someone. For example, I can't stand coconut milk, or I can't stand that woman. You know, maybe somebody's very loud or rude and you just can't take it anymore.
I can't stand cilantro.
The next phrase is, it's not my thing. When something is not your thing, it means that you're not interested in it very much or you don't enjoy doing it. For example, do you want to come to the concert with me this Saturday? No thanks, country music is not my thing.
It's not really my thing.
The next phrase is, it's not my cup of tea. If something is not your cup of tea, it means you don't like it or you're not interested in it that much. Yeah, just like all the previous phrases, pretty much. That's what we're talking about today. We couldn't decide which movie to watch, so we ended up settling on a romantic comedy. Halfway through, I concluded that its humor is not my cup of tea.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea, but you know.
I'll pass. This is a good phrase. It means, no thank you, but I'm choosing not to do this. It's an English idiom that means to overlook something because you don't want to do that or because it's not worth doing. For example, would you like to have some tea? No thanks, I'll pass.
I think I'll pass.
The next phrase is, I'm not much of a person. This is a great phrase because you can actually put any word and make up your own sentence. For example, if somebody asks you, would you like a cup of tea? Then you say, no thanks, I'm not much of a tea person. So a tea person would be somebody who likes tea, but if you prefer coffee, you can say, I'm a coffee person. So I'm not much of a tea person. Somebody's invited you to a party and you can say, I'm not much of a party person. Somebody's asking, do you exercise regularly? You can say, I'm not much of a gym person.
But, you know, I'm not much of a dog person.
The next phrase, I don't appreciate it. If you don't like somebody's attitude or the way they behave, you can say, I don't appreciate your attitude, or I don't appreciate you telling everyone my business. But be careful with this phrase because it can sound quite authoritative. For example, if I'm a teenager and I speak, you know, with this kind of attitude to my parents, my mum can say, I don't appreciate your tone, young lady. It does sound a little bit negative.
I don't appreciate it, okay?
Wait a minute, I think we're forgetting the most obvious phrase. I dislike it. For example, he dislikes a healthy diet because he's addicted to sugar. I dislike eating pasta 3 times a week. Also, be careful with this one because in most of the situations, native speakers would avoid saying dislike. This word does exist, but use it only if you feel strongly about something. I dislike it. It's like I can't stand it. When you want to highlight that you do not like it. Still, in most of the cases, native speakers would choose I don't like or dislike.
I dislike that expression immensely.
It's not for me. For example, I know you love skydiving, but extreme sports just aren't for me. Or full glam makeup is not for me.
It's not for me.
The next phrase is, I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of snakes. It means I don't like snakes. And also it makes it sound a little bit humorous, I'd say. You know, I'm a big fan. Who would be a fan of snakes anyway? Or if somebody asks you, for example, let's go to McDonald's, and you say, no thanks, I'm not a fan. Yeah, so I'm not a fan of it, or I'm not a fan.
I'm not a big fan of being alone.
It drives me crazy. When someone or something drives you crazy, it means that they or it irritates or annoys you. These non-stop phone calls drive me crazy. My neighbors always play music so loud, it drives me crazy. And British people also say, it drives me nuts. Nuts is like crazy.
But because it's driving me crazy.
Well, I hope you've learned some new expressions today. Make sure you check out our other videos, subscribe to our channel, join the intensive course, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.